Hi, so I'm John Tutongi, and I'm going to talk about some easy-to-use technologies for delivering online and web-enhanced content. This is ideas that I've kind of stumbled upon at the beginning of the year. I needed some content for an online statistics class, and I had a bunch of PowerPoints ready, but I did not have any personalized videos. I did have access to some videos, but they were not me. They were other instructors, and I felt that my class needed some personalization. So I was really nervous. I didn't know anything about making videos or presenting material or doing examples online. And I was, to be honest, intimidated. I felt like whatever I had to do had to be perfect. So this presentation is about, you don't have to be perfect. You can just try something. And what I ended up trying is actually what we're doing right now. I am going to walk through how I stumbled upon this type of video, and hopefully you'll learn something along the way, and you can do what I did and just try it out and see what happens. So easy to use technologies for delivering hybrid online and web enhanced content. I teach at South Seattle College. I teach both mathematics and computer science. I've used these videos. It's exactly like this type of video for algebra, pre-calculus, and statistics, and then more recently for computer science, teaching both in Python and Java. So I've shared this methodology with a couple of colleagues. In particular, one, a biology instructor, has basically kind of adopted the same idea and is creating videos for his hybrid course using the same idea. So pretty much this methodology could be used by anyone, and it's sort of quick, easy videos with some accessible technology, some readily available technologies. So my objectives here are to introduce the technology for the web-enhanced content delivery. And I'll talk about sort of the primary softwares that I use, what hardware options I've come up with that have helped me improve and do stuff better, and then the secondary software options, which kind of can be anything. So the versatility of these ideas is great. And then I'll go through some advantages and additional resources that you might use in case you want to try some of these ideas out. So here we go. You might, as I walk through these ideas, ask yourself these questions. What would you like to learn about providing web-enhanced content for your online hybrid or face-to-face courses? And for me, as a math instructor, I needed some way to record content and also some way to write stuff. And I didn't know how to do those things. And because I didn't know how to do it, it ended up sort of being a barrier to me providing something for my students. So hopefully I can alleviate some of those barriers from people. And then the other thing is just, how can this content that we go through be used with the types of technology that you're using for your instruction or your content delivery? That's one of the great things about this method that I'm using, and I'm actually using it right now. So I'm making a Zoom video, using it with a PowerPoint presentation. It can be used with so many different technologies that it's the possibilities are sort of endless. So continuing on, as you think about those things, I am using a lot of different online platforms, and so in addition to different software that I'll use this method with, I'm using it with Canvas, with WAMAP, with a Practice It software that's a coding software from for the computer science. YouTube, this video will be uploaded to YouTube. It makes it accessible through the closed captioning. A homework LMS, XYZ homework for algebra. There's probably a gazillion more learning management systems that we all integrate. And the nice thing about these ideas is they can be utilized with any of these or all of these. So, and I have used them with all of these different software platforms. So primarily I'm using Zoom. I have a pro account. It was free from the college. I did like a very short Zoom training, but to be honest, I don't even know that you would need a training except for setting up your account. It's like any other software. What I am doing is I'm sharing my desktop right now with you, and I'm recording this as if it's a meeting. So it's a meeting of one person. You can see up here at the top, I'm the only participant, one person. And I could look at the sharing, and I'm basically sharing my screen, my desktop here, share it. I'm not going to do that right now because I'm already sharing it. There's other things you can share, like a whiteboard or a phone or other software. So I don't know them all, so I'm sure there's many things that I don't know how to do with Zoom, but this is what I do know how to do. I'm sharing my desktop and I'm recording it. So where it says here pause recording, I can actually pause it and then come back and resume. That's actually where you start the recording and you record to this computer. When I'm done, I will stop the recording and end the meeting, this one-person meeting, and then I'll get a recording of what I've done here that I'm going to post on YouTube. So what's been nice about Zoom is it shares this desktop. I'm allowed to personalize my content. You can see my face up in the corner. I found, for me, it's best not to really look into the camera. I tend to get kind of crazy looking eyes if I do. So I try not to. I just read the desktop, and it's just, here I am, and so it personalizes the content delivery. This software is free, at least for me. I think most of us can have access to a free pro account. Even if you don't have a pro account, if your videos are short enough, the Zoom is a free software. Another thing that I've used it for, even though I'm not going to go over it today, is I've used it for remote office hours. So for my online class, I can just set up a meeting with a student or several students and hold office hours through Zoom. So that's been nice. Okay, so that's one of my primary softwares. The other one that I use is Microsoft OneNote. That's, again, is free district-wide download through Microsoft Office. It's a digital note-taking software, and what I did originally, I used it for my stats class. I set up multi-page lectures in advance, and then I made the Zoom video clicking through the pages. So I'll just show you an example there. This was for a stats class, and I have, these are all my lectures set up on the left, and here's my lectures for this levels of measurement. And sort of as I went through this lecture, I had them pre-developed, and I would go through and click on each next successive page and talk about the content that I was going through, and I usually highlighted in red or some color so students would kind of be able to focus on that content. You can see I'm flipping through the pages, and then usually at the end I sort of have a summary page that allows me to pause and sort of recap everything that I've just gone through. Again, I'm not an expert. I don't claim to be an expert in any of this content. It's just, and that was one of the things I thought I had to be excellent at stuff before I could try it. And then I realized that I don't have to be excellent. I can just try stuff. Here's an example where I did some math. I got better at writing in here. OneNote is nice because I can put a problem in here, and I can start it out and click through and go through some examples, and then I can do some writing. So this writing that's happening in here is happening usually while I'm doing the video. I'm showing it post after it's already been written, but you can see, it shows up very nicely for the student, and they can see me working through these problems. Another thing that's nice about the OneNote is that it's expandable, so I can just keep going until I run out of, well, I think forever, I don't know, memory probably. So the pages just go longer and longer as you need them to go longer. And again, that's a free software that we have. So, a little bit of work trying to set up where to put stuff and, just how to organize the content. But overall, I just kind of sat down and tried it. And have had really good success. So my students have really liked it. So again, it's a Microsoft OneNote. It's a digital note-taking software. I could set up in advance multiple pages. The pages are expandable as needed, and again, it's free. So those two softwares together are the main two that I've used, what I would call sort of my primary softwares. And then you saw in that video, what am I using for hardware? So I'm using my laptop. I think I could use my desktop at school. And you could use a built-in or an external camera. My colleague uses a tablet with an external camera. So this software, most of it's accessible online, and so you could use it through a tablet or a desktop. I'm using an external camera, so obviously you need a computer. But I went out and bought myself a couple of optional hardware stuff. So I bought a webcam. I think I got it on sale for like $50. My school offered to pay for this, but I kind of decided I wanted one on my own. I got a Logitech Pro C920 is what it is. I think any webcam would work. I also bought a tablet for the writing. I didn't need it at first, but for math, I felt like I needed to have an ability to write. And I used an Intuos BTS, and that was about $78. It's the low-end tablet. I don't need the fancy one that I can do all kinds of drawing with. I'm just doing mathematics. So the tablet took a little bit of time to get good at. I mean, I used it right away. I got better at it as I went along. So those are optional hardwares. I actually started without either of those things. So, well, the webcam, I had the webcam. Okay. And then, what other softwares have I used this method with? And you're watching it now. I'm using it with PowerPoint. I've used it in my stats class with Excel. I've used it with Microsoft Word, Adobe PDF. I pull up, some of my books are PDFs, so I can pull up the book, look at examples in the book, and then switch over to the OneNote and do the example. I can talk about little specific things online, wherever. Both my coding programs, using Eclipse for Java and Idle for Python, I've used them both with this method. Really any other software you could use it with. So I think that's what's really nice about this idea, is that whatever secondary softwares you're using is going to work with any of them, and depending on your subject, you might have different learning management systems or different needs, but all of these things are pretty easily accessible and easy to use with this ideas, the Zoom and really it's just the Zoom and the OneNote together with these other softwares. Okay, so what are the advantages? I mean, it's inexpensive and it's easily accessible and it's easy to get started. So you can begin today. Like literally, if you have a webcam and you could actually just go to Zoom and download the software and you could try it. Start a meeting and record it on your computer and see what it looks like. You can personalize content. It could even just be an introduction of yourself without any lecture. Just, hey, I'm John Tutangi and I'm teaching statistics or computer science or math. I think that makes a big difference. And I've used it, to talk about tests and to talk about, people when for my online class, if there's certain things that you want to warn them about, or you want to tell them, oh, this chapter gets harder, I just make a quick video, send it out, and they're not perfect. I make mistakes, and I'm not worried about them being perfect. I just want it to be sort of a quick, easy way to get contact between me and the student. So personalized content, and then this works across any of the disciplines or any of the software options that you're using. I wanted to show you a few examples. So let me just show you on our innovations page. I have example videos from pre-calculus, computer science, and statistics. So for the pre-calculus, I utilized obviously Zoom, and then Microsoft Office OneNote, and Adobe Reader. The hardware I'm using is the laptop, the webcam, and the tablet. I'm just going to pause for 1 second. And now I'm going to show you that part of that video. So I've uploaded it to YouTube, and that's great because you can do closed captioning in YouTube. So it will provide a captioning for the students to make it accessible. Let me just see if I can make that bigger. So in this video that's sitting here behind me, this is a screenshot of the video. I have the book open, and I have sort of the problem happening here on the right. A function f has an inverse if and only if f is 1 to 1. Then if I jump ahead in the video, I'm writing on my tablet. You can see I can use different colors. I can draw a function. I can draw its inverse. And that video is walking through those things using Adobe PDF with the textbook, and then the Microsoft OneNote to do the problem. I'm trying to get back to where the problem was originally. Anyways, so that's one example. Another example is, excuse me, from my computer science class. I'm using Zoom, again, OneNote, and Eclipse, the coding language. Here I'm just using the laptop and the webcam, and that's here. Sorry. And in this example, I have it set up right now with, let's make that bigger. So you can see me, there I am in the oops, let me go back. There I am up in the corner. I'm wearing the same shirt even. And there's my living room window. So my dining room window. Okay. So in any case, you'll see over here I have the example in OneNote, and then in front of that is the coding program, the clips that I'm using. Turn that closed captioning off so we can see it a little better. And I'll just advance a little further just so you can see the coding advancing. And there's my coding going on. And this has been really great because it one of the big problems with this class is that students who are a little slower in class have a hard time keeping up because of the typing. So if they don't know how to type, their typing is slower than it needs to be. They have a harder time keeping up in class, and they can fall behind. So this gives them a chance to pause stuff and keep up on the typing. Students have also told me that they'll watch it at time and a half faster. So if someone's already understands the content, they can watch it a little faster and just do the coding on their own a little quicker. So for both students who are struggling and students who are ahead, they both can benefit from this video, this style of video. And then in one more, it'd be the stats here. Oh, I forgot to talk about. So for the stats example, I use Zoom and then WAMAP, which is where the homework is. And then we used Excel to do the technology. So here I have the WAMAP problem. And I jump ahead a little bit. That's an online resource talking about a problem in Excel. And then here I am using Excel, and I'm walking through what I do to do this problem using the technology. And again, this is some students have no problem picking up technology on their own, but other students kind of need a walkthrough, a step-by-step sort of example to kind of walk along with. And I think these videos have provided a really great avenue for students. So again, those, you're probably not gonna wanna watch all those videos, but you could watch each one a little bit and just to kind of get an idea of how this content, and you're gonna see it here because you're seeing me do it. Again, it's not hard. I'm literally just up here, I'm recording where it says pause. There's a record to desktop option in the beginning, and I'm just recording this via Zoom to my desktop, and then I will post that video on YouTube, and that's how it will get linked in Canvas. So we'll put that away. So those sample videos are there for you. And again, these are some of the advantages. All this software is free. And to be honest, I still don't know how to use them all to their full potential, but I feel like I've learned enough that I can put stuff out there and consistently deliver good content. And really, I'm hoping that people can just try it and see how they like it. And that's one of the things that really I liked about what I'm doing here, is that it's so easy to start. And then I can start delivering personalized content. It worked great for like the snow days, for face-to-face classes. When we had class canceled, I could just quickly put a couple of videos up, and students were able to kind of move forward without necessarily meeting in class even. And then this ability to kind of work across disciplines and across different softwares is what I really find, just the flexibility of this method. So, a couple things just to consider is, what ideas here could you try today? Like, could you try Zoom today? Could you try, if you're looking for a new way to deliver content, these are things that I think if you just try them, you're going to decide whether you like it or not. And then also, like, which technologies could you use in coordination with these ideas? Because we're all using different technologies, and some of them will be the same and some of them will be different. But especially if there's stuff in your field that you use, are there things that I haven't used, but you could find advantages or ways to use this methodology with? And then finally, where are some additional resources? So I use my TLC office here at South. It's the Teaching and Learning Center, but I'm sure each campus has their campus faculty development centers and access to webcams or Zoom accounts. I don't know what the access to the tablets are, but to be honest, the tablet's been really nice for me in math because I need to be able to write, and I didn't need it at first, but it's been nice to have. Your people on campus or people in your discipline, your colleagues who teach online, they can be great resources because they've tried things, and there's things that work well and there's things that don't work well. I mean, one thing I found is that the videos, I need to try to make them a little shorter. Even this one's probably gone on a little too long. I'm long-winded and I talk fast, so I'm learning how to make them a little more time consistent, a little shorter if I can. The other thing that I do is if I don't know how to do something, I just research it online, look it up, see how to do this or that. And usually the solutions are harder than I need. I usually need something a little simpler than I find online, but it gives me some ideas. If I put my email on here. If you have any questions and you want to have any questions for me, just feel free to throw me an email. Be happy to see if I could help in any way. Okay, thanks for your time. I hope you enjoyed this, and hopefully you get something out of it. All right, good luck.